Hello, my viewership, and welcome to Pop Culture Happy Hour. Um, this is my co-host Jack, not Zach. This is Jack.
Hello there, beautiful people.
And today we are going to be talking about games from the past 2 decades. So buckle up. This is going to be really long, and I am sorry for the amount of bullcrap you're about to hear.
Ah, yes.
Ah, yes.
Especially the amount that usually comes from us.
So, without further ado, let's begin. Okay, starting with 2000, we have The Sims. Alright, Jack, what do you got to say about The Sims?
The Sims was basically one of the first games that really... Shoot, I don't know how to say this because I don't do Sims.
Yeah.
It was the first game where you kind of control everyone's day-to-day life, not on such a grand scale like the earlier Civilization games with nuclear Gandhi and all that, but...
Yeah. It was more like this kind of like very peaceful kind of, you could just live a life without much trouble unless you download a bunch of mods that like make you a wizard or some shit.
Or just go down the right path, and then you end up skinny dipping with mummies. Anyways,
Right.
That was the third game.
Yeah. But still, it like made this whole genre of just day in the life games, like Animal Crossing and all that. So it just kind of birthed this new genre.
Yeah, it honestly had just very simple and appealing gameplay, even if every single one of the characters you made was an idiot.
Yeah.
Spoke in a language that not even the Navajo would understand.
Right? It was kind of dumb. But yeah, that's like The Sims just kind of, it was the turn of the century and they just came out with this really good game.
Yeah.
Alright.
Now, let's see what this next one here is. Majora's Mask.
Oh.
AKA, Georg being an asshole.
So Majora's Mask, it creates the type of genre that I would call like adventure horror games, because before that there weren't many of those. Like, they would come here and there, but they would never really get very far. But with Majora's Mask, they kind of hit that kind of spot where people actually enjoy it while still getting like that horror vibe from it. Cause like it's just
Especially
like,
the Water Temple.
especially the Water Temple, Jesus Christ. But when it comes to that game, it just kind of, it gives off this energy of horror, especially with Skull Kid, which kind of gets ruined by his ability in Ultimate. But let's not talk about that yet.
Yeah.
But yeah,
another main horror element is the existential horror that was actually made famous back in the day with Lovecraft and his stories, but
right.
This is this giant moon with this pedophilic face looking
it's
at
just
you.
This fucking...
It's gonna collide with the Earth in 3 days.
Yeah, it's like the whole plot of Majora's Mask is just you have to relive the same day trying to get to the end of it. And it just kind of brings about this sense of hopelessness.
It's a lot like Evangelion in a way.
A bit. As Robotnik would say, it's like Evangelion, get the fuck out. I swear, half of my viewers aren't even going to get that reference, and I'm so sad.
Yes, but they will realize it when we come to make an announcement.
That Shadow the Hedgehog is a bitch. Okay, we need to stop.
Alright, let's move on to the year 2001,
where
Stanley Kubrick thought we would all be living in space with malevolent computers.
Yeah. Sadly,
But
no.
Instead, we get to save the world with quite possibly one of, if not the most influential first-person shooter of all time, Halo Combat Evolved.
Alright, Jack, take it over, because I don't know much about Halo.
Well, of course, you spawn as the Halo Man, as many non-fans call him, also known as the Master Chief. The man with the most steel nerves of all time. And it's your sole mission, landing on this ringed planet, to find out what's going on with this planet, and then make sure to stop the evil alien Covenant from killing all your mates on the human colony ship / cruiser, the Pillar of Autumn. It's got a very dense lore about it, there are small Easter eggs that you can find that actually help enhance the storytelling, and also some that help enhance the gameplay, like skulls or terminals.
Yeah, it's kind of the this this game, Halo Combat Evolved, kind of just, again, it birthed the kind of new genre of FPS shooters where it's just kind of, you still have like the shoot 'em up element, but it actually has a plot. So like the story goers still get a chance, but the people who just like FPS also get a chance to like enjoy the game.
Yes, and one of the greatest things, in fact, the most influential part of it, was how before Halo, usually all of the guns in the game were given to you. You find throughout the level, and you had all of them at your disposal, like how the original Doom does, or just the whole Doom series in general. But with Halo, you only get restricted to two weapons. So you can
Yeah.
either go grab a rocket launcher in terms of a level, or you can pick something up that might not do as much damage as one, but could be a lot more versatile. Which
Yeah.
led to a major element of strategy. I should
Yeah.
know because I am playing Halo right now.
That's pretty cool. Moving on to our next game is Smash Bros. Melee, probably the most loved Smash Bros. Game, besides Brawl, that just kind of exists in this vast series of games that people just inherently will usually love. Because Smash Bros. Melee, um, has which one was it? It was not Subspace because that's Brawl, but I can't. Fuck.
Dang it, we forgot.
We
You
forgot.
too?
But Smash Bros. Melee, I remember had a really good story, but the whole thing
Oh, yeah,
of it.
that's where you fought Giga Bowser at the end.
Oh fuck! Where? Well, fucking goddamn it. Okay, so that's where like this idea of bosses came through. I think for Smash Bros. That and the whole idea of like having an actual story in Smash Bros. Because before that we had what 64, which was just
Yeah, on N64, which is just like how the kind of quote story mode of
yeah
of Smash Bros was just going around. Actually, no, it was All Star mode in Smash 4. That was more
right
like how the story mode was, where you all just went through different stages and fought
yeah.
different guys.
Speaking of Smash Bros. 4, just fuck that game.
That's an oof because that was one of my favorites.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I just didn't really enjoy it because there was like no story. But yeah,
That's
Melee.
why I really liked Melee
Yeah,
overall.
Melee just like has this dense story to it, much like how Brawl and then Ultimate will have. So it's kind of like this new rebirth for Smash Bros. So, alright. 2002.
This game runs to another actually quite major first-person shooter in the game Battlefield 1942,
Oh
with
boy.
a series that would go on to have the oddest naming convention of all time.
Yeah, right? Go through it again, because I remember laughing my butt off at this. Like, just go for it.
It goes Battlefield 1942, Battlefield 1943, then Battlefield 2, then Battlefield 3, then Battlefield 4, then Battlefield Hardline, then Battlefield 1, then Battlefield 5.
It goes. The second to last game is Battlefield 1. What the fuck?
If they wanted to keep with the odd naming convention, they should have called Battlefield 5 Battlefield 1944.
Right? Yeah, but it's like despite
Oh, wait a sec, that reminds me, I forgot. There was another Battlefield game between 3 and 4 called Battlefield 2142.
I'm done. Give me a minute. What the fuck? Okay, well,
The one thing DICE did wrong with this game.
okay, but despite its strange conventions, Battlefield made like this big impact on the FPS community.
It was mainly due to how absolutely massive the maps were.
And how like
Become a trademark
and
of
how like
Battlefield.
almost realistic it was to like a real war.
Yeah, something that would later be carried on by the Arma series.
Yeah.
Uh,
Alright. Moving right along. I think this one sprouted a lot of memes around it. I might be wrong, it may be another one, but GTA Vice City.
Yeah, you were thinking about San Andreas with
Yes, I
the two number
was.
9s, and number 9 large, number 6 with extra dip, and number 7,
I think.
two number 45s, one with cheese and a large soda. I
Wait,
completely memorized that.
Wait, did we add GTA San Andreas?
And we could talk about it with Vice City.
Yeah, sure. Alright.
Yeah, Vice City and San Andreas were both really good games because, kind of like how Halo did before, it was this kind of, you get this open world kind of shoot 'em up kind of game with all the rampant crime and basically a whole bunch of bad stuff. But there's also a good story to the game.
Yeah.
Although in this game the story has quite a bit less of an effect. It's mainly just you running around blowing up cars, stealing the cars,
Right.
and proceeding to blow up the cars with the cars.
Right.
All while a police force chases after you that's more brutal than LAPD.
Right. It's like the whole experience is just so, like, it's almost realistic, but to the point where, like, it's in that uncanny valley of hilariousness. Where just policemen can come out of just fucking nowhere.
Yeah, and it kind of set more of a trend with open world kind of games where you did semi-illegal activities where sometimes the police would cause their own problems, see you, and then it's like, oh shoot, it's that guy.
But
and also, one of the bad things about Vice City is that it gave rise to another trend that I honestly hate in GTA games, besides San Andreas, where all of the characters are so dang unlikable.
Right, yeah. But the difference with San Andreas on the characters, tell me about that.
Each one of them actually feels quite a bit realistic. It felt a lot less like a GTA game and a lot more like Boys in the Hood.
Oh, yeah.
Where each one of them had certain character traits that did shine through that were a little bit stylized as like their NWA real life counterparts, because each one of the characters was actually named or inspired by someone from the NWA.
Give me a second. Listeners, don't mind the noise, I'm just changing my volume.
Ah, yes.
Keep going.
Yeah, each one of them had, of course, certain character traits that shine through, but also very likable personalities. These were less characters that you want to punch, like how I do with literally everyone in GTA 5.
Yeah.
But instead, there are people where you could just relax and have an outdoor barbecue with them.
Right. But I think the best thing to come out of San Andreas are the goddamn memes.
Oh, yes.
I have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip, and 2 number 40. Oh, fuck. I forgot
2
it.
number 45, one with cheese and a large soda.
Yep.
And also, the game gained quite a bit of infamy because there was a mod you can download that unlocked a secret mission.
Oh, God. What was it?
The hot coffee mod. It transformed a rated M game into a bit more of a rated X game.
Oh, God. And then
the secret mission,
and then the final, I think the final meme to come out of that is, you picked the wrong house, fool!
Oh, yeah. But with that in the story, it actually feels kind of real.
Right.
And also a bit funny.
It's hilarious. I mean, none of the memes would come about if it wasn't hilarious. But we do need to move on now. Because I think we've been talking about this for, like, almost the longest.
Wow.
So...
I mean, that just comes out with very influential games.
Right. 2004. Hey, Editor Timothy here. I am regretting to inform that anybody who's been watching for all the jokes that I've sprinkled in, I'm going to stop doing that because already it has taken way too long to get this far into this video. So for the rest of it, it's just going to be the video game controller image. Again, I'm greatly sorry, but this is how it has to be because it's taken too long and I really want to get this out. So, sorry, but this is how it's gonna be. Okay. Continuing on with the episode. We've got World of Warcraft.
Leroy Jenkins!
Yes, the Leroy Jenkins meme came out of World of Warcraft when a random guy just charged into battle randomly, and just nobody could control him. He just became this whole meme because he's just like this crazy dude.
And that's why World of Warcraft got so popular. Not just because of the Leroy Jenkins meme, but also because of how open it was, and it kind of revolutionized the MMORPG element. I mean,
right.
certain similar games that came out before, like RuneScape, but...
Oh, RuneScape. I wish we could have talked about that, but it wasn't put it out for the past 2 decades.
We, like, after 10 years, we gotta do a redo of this.
Yeah. Maybe do, like, in 10 years, we'll do the past 4 decades and add RuneScape. No. But seriously, continue.
World of Warcraft was like the precedent when it came to these kinds of games.
Right.
RuneScape was like the foundation, but World of Warcraft really took it to a whole other level.
And then other games like, fuck, I can't remember the name of it, but it was that
Star Wars, The Old Republic,
right.
Star Trek Online,
right.
A whole bunch of that stuff.
Yeah, like there's that one game about gods. What was it called?
What was that? Dota? No, wait a second.
No, not Dota.
Not Dota.
No, not Dota. The one that's like you legitimately.
Pantheon?
I'm not sure. I think it's the one about gods, like where you play gods.
Yeah, I think that's Pantheon.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Tell us that in the comments.
I'm sure somebody is gonna like be like, oh, how could you fucking forget it? It's this thing, and it's like, no, we're just dumb.
We're just kind of some idiotic 15 and 16-year-old.
Yeah. But moving on from World of Warcraft for a second, we're gonna go to Halo number 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Oh,
this
God.
Time, it's Earth.
Okay, yep, it's Earth this time.
Yep, and Halo decides to add a brand new aspect. Dual wielding.
Oh, shit.
Which would later become a major staple in games like Modern War, and just throughout the Call of Duty games. Not only with a deeper story, and honestly a lot more quotable story, I mean, for a brick, he flew pretty good.
Yeah.
And with a lot more vibrant characters, giving the Master Chief more personality, Sergeant Johnson being an utter meme.
Right.
And the gameplay being a lot more crisp. And let's not mention a legendary mode, legendary being the hardest difficulty in Halo, that was less immense challenge but still fun, and more, oh my gosh, please stop with the jackal snipers, in which you could barely walk a few steps and you get headshotted immediately by like 3 of them.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying, I'll be honest.
Yeah, but the thing is, with back on the dual wielding aspect, the dual wielding was actually quite different from how games would do it up until Wolfenstein, The New Order, where you could pick up any sidearm in the game and you could mix and match them with multiple different crazy combos, like one of them being a plasma pistol that could drain a shield, along with the primary pistol, the Magnum, that had an immensely high rate of fire. It wasn't until Wolfenstein where this idea was really expanded, where in that game you could do anything.
Yeah, that's like probably one of the coolest parts about that game. But moving along, we're still in 2004, so yep, we got a third one. Star Wars Battlefront.
The original Star Wars Battlefront, and before anyone down there says that the game from 2015 is the original, I will literally come to your house and rip your nuts off.
Yeah, I'm about to fucking, like, take out my shotgun, just go ch-ch.
DICE originally created Battlefront in 2004 as a tie-in to the Star Wars prequels.
Yes.
Where you could pick multiple characters, not just multiple characters, but multiple classes from like clone troopers, droids, and all that.
Yeah.
And you had like what DICE and EA did, because DICE was also the developer of Battlefield, where you had these big battlefields.
Right.
But it took place at famous Star Wars locations like Hoth and Geonosis and Tatooine.
Also, if they ever do make a Star Wars Battlefront 3, they shouldn't add as many microtransactions, first of all.
I think they learned their lesson with that.
Yes, and second of all, they should add a bunch of the set pieces from the sequel trilogy, which, as much as I don't like it, the set pieces are amazing.
I mean, yeah, at least we can actually fight on a Star Destroyer this time.
Right? That would be the coolest thing, but, moving along,
Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2, not the Star Wars one.
I mean, all four of these are Star Wars games, but... But it's the original Battlefront 2 from 2005.
Not the one with, like, from, like, 2000, whatever. 18.
But yeah, this one expanded with a whole bunch of more vehicles, newer set pieces like Naboo, literally space.
Space.
And actually, among that, there was this big, brand new game mode. I forgot what it was called, tell me in the comments, but where you could get in and fight on the ground, but you could also go up in one of those starfighters, and you could go into space and join a battle up there.
Whoa, dude.
All the same battle.
Yeah.
And something a lot better than the new Battlefront games, the vehicles were laid out. You don't need to get, like, hero cards or different supply drops. You could literally see a vehicle, jump into it, and you can go.
Yeah. Moving right along. 2007, we've got two pretty influential FPS shooters. Starting off is Halo 3.
Oh yes, the climactic Halo 3. While not being as quotable as Halo 2,
right,
but the game was so expanded in which it felt like it had the more linear level Halo 2, but it also had a bit more of an openness to it, like how Halo 1 did. Although not enough to the point where you don't know where the heck to go on some missions, like in Halo 1.
Right.
And one thing about it, the cinematography on the scenes is, without a doubt, the very best in the whole dang franchise.
By far.
The thing was shot like a dang motion picture. Not just a movie, a whole motion picture.
I would love to see... Okay, I just want to see a Halo movie. Like, somebody make a Halo movie, because no matter which one you choose... actually, what I would request for that is just don't make it about Master Chief, actually. Because we kind of already got his story in the game, so it would just kind of be redundant. But what I would rather have is, like, to make original characters and original story built within the Halo franchise. Just because a movie out of that would be amazing.
That's basically what they did with Agent Locke in Halo 5. They just made a whole bunch of stuff about him, including a movie. I think it's called Halo Nightfall.
Oh, I have to see that.
Yeah, it's like a movie/short series.
Mm-hmm.
It goes in Agent Locke. He's about as bland as he is in the game.
Yeah.
I don't like Halo 5.
Moving along is the next influential FPS shooter in 2007, and that would be Modern Warfare.
Yes, with Bravo 6 going dark.
Oh, yes, Bravo 6.
And this game gave rise to... It was without what I think is one of, if not the final Call of Duty game with a realistic story. At least besides It was actually the fourth Call of Duty in the franchise.
Yeah.
And it upped its budget from something like Call of Duty 1 or 2 or 3. Instead, it gave us this massive story that had world-shaking repercussions, especially with detonating a dang nuke.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, nukes are going to be a main theme throughout the Modern Warfare franchise.
Yeah, definitely.
But even then, many of the games up to Modern Warfare, back on Halo for a second, were marketed as quote Halo killers,
Oh,
trying
dang.
to be the next big multiplayer thing, because Halo was such a massive
I mean,
influence, not just in single player but in multiplayer.
you
And
can't,
Modern Warfare
you can't,
kind of did it.
yeah, it kind of succeeded, and you can't deny that, really. Because,
While Halo still has a very strong online influence,
yeah.
Modern Warfare gave rise to a lot more of the tropes that we'd see,
Right.
like kill cams and picking your own loadout,
Right.
and especially all of the dang 360 no scopes. But that comes
360
later.
no scope. Misses every single shot.
Dang.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
suck at that, but
and then there's also a story with characters kind of like Halo 2's, with especially Captain Price and Soap McTavish,
right,
utter gems.
right. Moving right along. In 2008, we have Smash Bros. Brawl. Now,
This,
Brawl set the standard for stories in Smash Bros. With its arguably best story of Subspace Emissary.
definitely. Especially with different fun reveals of new characters.
Okay,
But,
so we got like this. So at the very beginning, we start off like we have no clue what's happening. There's this gun that turns people into metals, right? Which kind of harkens, which is kind of weird because a while later they made amiibos. So were they just advertising amiibos before they were made?
I mean, or maybe
They,
amiibos were just inspired by those medallions.
that's also very possible. But then,
I find that
but
most likely.
but the whole story just revolves around this mysterious figure. Like from the very beginning, you think it's just this random
The
person.
Rainbow Man.
You think it's like Ganondorf, right? Because he's like controlling all the people. But then
Or maybe
Ganondorf,
Master Hand, because he's like the main mastermind of the franchise.
but then Ganondorf is being controlled by Master Hand, but Master Hand is being controlled by Taboo, who actually turns out to be the villain. So it's like this whole like build up. Like you don't really know who the villain is until the very end.
Yeah, it's that big Rainbow Man with like wings.
Taboo is like, oh Jesus, it's the whole thing with Taboo is kind of like, if you've seen the Game Theorist video on the story of Smash Bros, which I highly recommend, it's a really good video. You'll understand why Taboo is just like this really interesting character, honestly. But yeah, moving right along, because that's the only game we have for 2008. Let's
Actually, one last thing about
oh
it. They actually introduced something that's now like a staple. The Final Smash.
oh the final smash, the final smash, especially with Yoshi's actually later on, because it took its inspiration from the title sequence for this game with the Stampede. That's actually in the title sequence of Brawl. So, or it was Melee. I think it's one of the two.
Yeah. Although honestly, one of what many people considered at the time the most overpowered was the character who also I think had the best reveal of all time when it comes to Brawl stories, Sonic.
Oh, Sonic. Sonic, you bad motherfucker.
With no, seriously, when he went to Supersonic, he was so
Yeah.
fast across the screen. Granted, it was a little hard to control, but
yeah.
when he got it down, he was a monster.
Yeah, but then they toned it down, which is good in later
That
games.
was honestly pretty good.
But
they should just buffed everything else.
Moving on, because that's the last game of 2008, we have, I think, our only 4-game year, and that is 2009. Arguably one of the best years for gaming. So,
let's start off with the elephant in the room when it comes to 2009. Team Fortress 2.
Team Fortress 2! It came out. Okay, so let me tell you a story. I'm not sure many people know this actually, but Team Fortress 2, do you know why it's called Team Fortress 2 instead of just Team Fortress?
Yeah, because there was a Half-Life mod called Team Fortress.
Exactly. Like it was supposed to be this very realistic game, and it wouldn't sell right, as well as Team Fortress 2 did, because Team Fortress 2 has like these very loud like cartoonish sounds. They have these really good characters, and the reason it's so well marketed is because of the Meet the Character series that kind of endeared you to the real personalities they gave to these characters.
Or the Meet the Character series was awesome.
Yeah,
although I think they may
freaking
have exaggerated the personalities in the Meet the Character video for the game.
yeah, but
Because
with
with Snopper,
right,
you know, the
but
Mate.
yeah, but with me, like when I first saw Meet the Scout, right, I was not expecting that. I thought, oh, so it's just another FPS. It's going to be a very bland character. But as soon as I saw the video, I was just hooked. Like honestly, and the best thing is, it's free to play. Like you can just play it right now.
Actually, the
completely
funny
free.
thing was, originally it was pay to play. It cost
Right?
like $10 or $15.
Yeah,
And
but I mean, worth it still because it's such a great game. Like
it's still worth it.
it's kind of like we've always said that it kind of enhanced the genre or made a new genre, but this like highly enhances the genre of FPS, especially with like player v player FPS, because it kind of like it created this new thing around. You can still have fun characters while still having a very like you can still have like fun combat while having fun characters.
Yeah, especially with such a vibrant Art Deco 1960s kind of style to it.
Right, it's like this whole thing. Oh, and you can always have your favorite character through their personality, but you'll always have like each of the characters have their own skill set, so it can fit anybody. And I think really like the starting class that most people will pick is like either scout or medic or maybe even spy. But it's like
Yeah,
this.
I always picked heavy.
I always went with scout. I'll be honest, and I got pretty good as him. But then I stopped playing the game for a while. But yeah, it just kind of it made this huge community. Also, did you hear that? Did you hear that Rick May died?
Yeah, sadly.
Sadly, may he rest in peace. Though we had like this whole, like that's just sad. Well, we won't get much more of the OG Soldier, I suppose, but Soldier was such like this like enhanced character. I guess is the best word I can go with because
I always loved him because of his Go America.
right.
Coming from quite the patriot myself, it was rather fun to basically.
It was
fun
so hilarious.
Kind of people.
I just all of his voice acting lines were so hilariously funny. It's just sad to see him go, you know.
Especially the fact that he died because of COVID.
Oh my god, fuck COVID, man. Anyways,
I hate COVID now about as much as I hate cancer.
moving right along.
Let's
From TF2, we have Minecraft. And you may say, I thought Minecraft came out in 2011. It was originally created in 2009 when the released beta came out, I believe. And people could like play it. So it was a very and it's still there's still an option on the PC version of Minecraft or the Java edition of Minecraft to go back to what beta looked like, and it was like this whole.
Yeah, it's Minecraft Classic.
Right?
I think it's now a browser game.
Right? It's like, okay, so Minecraft. Why are we adding Minecraft on this list? I mean, isn't it obvious? Minecraft became this whole.
It's quite simply the greatest building sandbox game of all time.
Right? And proven the most selling block game in history over Tetris.
Yes, the proof that the West wins over the Soviets.
Shut up. But when it comes to Minecraft, there's so much potential with the game. You can do the survival mode, which honestly they should still have a cave update soon because god damn it.
Stop with the bees. Stop with the bees. Give us caves.
Give us caves.
Make
Stop
the
giving
cave
us.
Sounds more
Actually,
horrifying.
the Nether update is kind of awesome though, so I'm fine with it.
Really
But when it comes to Minecraft, there's so much potential with what you can do with it. Like people have created pixel art. People have created like full on fucking.
Created functioning dang calculators.
You can create like a fucking full scale replica of the Battlestar Galactica. It's amazing.
Everything about it is just this simpleness and also this fun to it.
Yeah, like some person
The
made
only
like a.
bad part about it was how kids pulled a Fortnite with it.
Oh my fucking god. Yeah, for a long time, Minecraft was loved, and then people, like, all the kids started getting on it, like, oh yeah, we're having so much fun, yeah. Like the Fortnite style of things, and it just kind of ruined it for everybody. But recently it's gotten this resurgence, because people are, like, rediscovering it, and there's so much more to do now. People aren't really being toxic anymore. Like, there's not as many kids on there, so you can enjoy the game.
Yes, enjoying a game. Isn't that a foreign concept?
Oh my god, enjoying a game has become so hard because of how the world is right now, especially during this lockdown. But
Yep,
the fact that we still have this game that can be very calm, or you can have a bunch of combat with friends, you can pretty much do whatever you want. You can create, like, I've created like full castles on this game, but then also when I'm on survival mode, I'll die like 5 times in a minute. So it's like,
yeah, maybe survival mode's good. Maybe survival mode's not good for me because I constantly like miss keys.
right. Okay, moving on from that, we got Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, this was the game that really sealed the deal when it came to Call of Duty.
Yup.
Like, it was like how Halo revolutionized online play. Then Modern Warfare came around, perfected it, and then Modern Warfare 2 came around, and then perfected that.
Right? It's just like this constant, like, rebuilding and
Action.
restructuring that kind of just brings it to this new, like, standard. And I think,
and the story was quite simply phenomenal, and
yeah,
it was when the more Hollywood elements came into play with with the main character Captain Price literally nuking orbit above the U.S. to stop the Russians from invading. I know, it's absolutely bonkers.
it's crazy, dude.
And I love it so much. And it also started up with the dual wielding craze, really. And with that dual wielding craze, you got stuff like the dual model 1887 shotguns, which were absolutely overpowered and destroyed everything in their path.
Yeah. It's fucking insane, dude. Alright.
Yeah, like how Modern Warfare 3 did with their FMG 9s.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, moving right along. What's up next? We got... Hold up. We got Dark Souls.
Dark Sus.
Okay, so with Dark Souls, obviously we had to add Dark Souls to this, because it made the rage genre, right? It made this whole rage genre that came out of nowhere. Because the fact is, it birthed so many games like Cuphead, which is sadly not on this list because, I don't know, it wasn't very revolutionary.
It did have a very nice art style.
It did have a very nice art
style.
Still
wondering whether or not it was CGI. They used like computers to do it, or they actually like drew in the cell animation.
They drew it in. That's been proven.
Really?
Yeah, they even for the boss battles and everything, they just drew everything. Think of how long it took for them to do that. It was advertised like, I think like a decade before it came out, because it took so long to draw it out. But yeah, Dark Souls created this whole rage genre that came out in games like Cuphead or any other type of rage game. So, I don't know, it's just kind of that, even though it makes me maddened to hell, it's such an interesting genre to just kind of come out of just the strangest of places.
Yeah, and then there was the whole character thing that gave rise to the term min-maxing.
Yes.
That was originally like a D&D thing, but now
Right.
it's a whole
Dark Souls Dark
thing.
Souls is not dissimilar to the D&D style, I would say.
In fact, you could say that it's basically just the longest streak of natural ones in a D&D game.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to roll to get your monsters.
Nat 1.
Yeah. Alright. I actually added a few games while we were talking because I completely forgot about them. So we're actually moving to 2010 with Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, yes. Another one of
2010's
Rockstar's games.
2010's Red Dead Redemption, a Rockstar game, is a cowboy game that does cowboy games correctly.
Finally.
You play. Shit, did I seriously just forget his name?
You forgot John Marston?
No, not John Marston. I'm thinking
No,
of.
John Marston is the character in Red Dead Redemption. You're talking about
You are
Marston
correct.
or
You are
Morgan.
correct. You are correct. Fuck.
You really thought John Marston was Arthur Morgan?
Yeah, fuck me. Red Dead Redemption. You do play John Marston, and you're just in a group of bandits. That's like almost the whole story. And it just creates each character so that they have this personality. And you really can't, if you want to know the story, you really can't skip any of the cutscenes, but you can still, if you really want to get to do the game quickly. But like, to understand the story, you really shouldn't, because it builds up these characters in such like a unique and realistic way that it makes this whole story just kind of fit, right?
Yeah,
And
it was all, the characters were a lot like how they were in GTA San Andreas.
right,
And how having these likable personalities.
right. But actually, what I'm gonna do here is, since it seems like video game companies started to take a break for the next few years from making like revolutionary games, I'm actually gonna say that we're gonna take a break ourselves for a second. Because we've been
Alright,
doing this for 40 minutes now, Jesus. So we're gonna take a break really quick. We will. I'm gonna stop the recording, and yeah, you'll just hear us when we start the recording again, I guess. All right.
Alright. Donuts.
I got that on recording, man. I just got donuts. Okay. Okay, continuing. We just did 2010. We are moving on to 2014 with Dark Souls 2. Alright, this is actually the only not rated mature games in the series. This is actually rated 13 plus.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm not joking. You can look it up. It's quite strange. I actually figured it out when I tried buying one of the Dark Souls games. And that was the only one I could buy because you legally need an ID to buy a mature game. Yeah. So it's quite strange because it's kind of it's kind of exactly the same as the others, so I'm not really sure. I don't think I understand that.
Like Halo 5.
Yeah. But yeah, Dark Souls 2 it's just kind of the continuation of this whole Dark Souls narrative, I suppose. And it just kind of sets a new bar for it. Even though it's like apparently less mature than the first one, I'm not sure. Anyways,
Who knows? Maybe the developers caught on the fact that just because you have more blood and gore doesn't make your story mature.
right?
Take note, horror movie producers.
Oof. Yeah. Well, I mean, certain horror movies nowadays are good enough, I guess. Oh my gosh! Actually, okay. Quick tangent.
Next podcast.
Quick aside, and we might do this for our next podcast episode. Actually, my dad wrote a screenplay for a horror movie. All right. Because for a while he was actually a writer director.
Really?
And he wrote up a screenplay for a horror movie. That kind of it's like this whole love letter to horror movies, kind of like Cabin in the Woods was, but better. In my opinion. In my opinion. But like it has these characters kind of jumping through different horror movies. Like they figure out they're in a horror movie and they just jump through a bunch of different ones. And the main guy from their horror movie.
horror
the
movie.
the main guy from their horror movie kind of collects the other people from the other horror movies, and it's just kind of like this whole narrative. And I don't want to spoil the ending because we might do this on the podcast actually, but it's like the comedy horror. It's like legitimate comedy horror. So it's like this whole thing. Anyways, moving along from that, we have
Horror
2014's
movies to 2014's
Assetto Corsa.
Yep, are probably the only driving game on this list.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Assetto Corsa is a racing simulator that's actually nowadays used by real racing teams. That's just how realistic it is. It mainly just added this whole new branch of realism because until then, most popular games were stuff like Need for Speed. You know, with these incessant amounts of drifting and nitrous and all that. But Assetto Corsa, like, evolved on previous game series like Gran Turismo.
Right.
Where you now have these hyper-realistic courses. In fact, literally real courses.
Yeah.
And there are actually, like, problems you could do with that would happen with your car. Like, if you, like, say you get in, like, an old Alfa Romeo race car, and then you try and start it up, you accidentally do it incorrectly, and then bam! Your car's stalled, your engine's died.
Right. Yeah, it's a very realistic game, and I think that's a lot of the appeal of it.
Yeah, and how it's gotten so far, especially even in the professional world.
Right. But moving along from the only racing game on this list, we have Destiny 2014.
Yes.
Now, this is another one I added without Jack here knowing, but I think because I remembered it while we were doing this, I was just like, oh, we have to add it. Because Destiny kind of just, it's just kind of like this whole thing. It created this whole community because of like...
You made us realize that Bungie was, not a saint.
They are not a saint, no. But at the same time, they just kind of made this game around, like, genuinely interesting characters that just kind of live, if you get what I mean. Like, it's still an FPS, and it's still, like, has online, but it's like this whole thing where outside of your character, the other characters are just existing. Like, they have their own motivations, they have their own lives that they're trying to live. Like, unlike in games like RuneScape or Skyrim, where the people who you interact with... Oh, fuck. We should have put
Stop!
Skyrim...
You violated the law.
We should have put fucking Skyrim on here. God damn it. Anyways, as I was saying...
Which horse is best?
Unlike Skyrim or, like, RuneScape, where the NPCs just kind of sit there waiting for you, the other characters kind of have lives. Like, they still keep in one place, so it's easy to find them, but they have their own lives that they're living, especially with some of the characters that are off-world, that are kind of doing their own thing on other worlds in the story of Destiny 2, which we're going to talk about later, actually. But it's like this whole... It's a functioning world. Like, it doesn't just exist for your needs.
Yeah, even though that world had to be built up from countless amounts of DLCs, considering the base game was basically broken.
Yeah, well... Yeah. But I mean, you gotta make your money somehow, yeah? Okay, moving on. 2015. The big one from 2015, and I'm also gonna count number 2 in here if that's okay with you, is Super Mario Maker. Now, Super Mario Maker is the first non-ROM hack Mario building game. So, it's Nintendo released, and you just get to create the game yourself. And it's just like this whole thing. And then people were like finding new ways to like interact with the game, make a bunch of trolls, make a bunch of like really interesting levels that you wouldn't otherwise find in a Mario game.
Yeah, like you said about troll levels. You actually told me about this a few days ago, where one of the greatest troll level makers is Carl Sagan himself.
Carl Sagan 42 on fucking twitch.tv.com. Fuck, that wasn't correct. Twitch.tv/Carl Sagan 42. He is not only a scientific professional who knows a lot about a lot, because you can literally use these things called shinies that he basically gives out during his live streams. You can spend shinies to basically ask a science question. And you can just ask whatever science questions you have, and it's just a very fun way to just, like, have him still do his work while still playing one of his favorite games, I would assume. But yeah, the whole troll community in Super Mario Maker isn't, like, malicious like most troll communities. It's very, like, kind. Half of the time they're, like, trolling each other, and it's just, like, haha, laughing, like, we're having so much fun.
The main fun about troll levels is the fact that you actually know all their creations, so you can actually see how they did it, so it's less anger at how frustrating the level is, but more sheer being impressed with how genius they are.
Yeah, it's so strange that it just kind of made this community of trollers, especially with Super Mario Maker 2, since there's so much more you can do with that in terms of trolling. But the one big, huge problem I have with Super Mario Maker 2, it's not anything of the new update, because the new update's great, is the story mode.
There's a story mode?
They made a story mode in a game about making your own levels. And that grinds the hell out of my gears. But
although actually there are some levels that,
however, I'm not done for. Give me 1 second. Right. However, Nintendo made levels that you would not usually find in a Mario game. However, again, they're also pretty tame, and you can just breeze through them. And what they should have done is they add just a random troll level for fun in there.
That would have been amazing!
That would have been hilarious, dude.
Yeah, but actually, about, like, story, there are actually some levels of the original Super Mario Maker and Super Mario Maker 2 that have stories in them. Like, there's this one famous one where it's you trying to take down this giant mechanical robot, which is actually supposed to be a
Mecha Bowser. Oh, that was the coolest thing to me. I was like, how the fuck did they do that? And then when
it was amazing.
It finally came out how they did it, and you just look at it and you're in awe how they figured out how to do that. And the whole thing is just stemming from this one simple game. But the thing is, you can make more beatable levels in that game than atoms in the known universe.
There are potentially more Mario. It will take longer to make every single Mario level you can make in Mario Maker.
Yeah.
Then the whole universe will exist.
Right. And it's like this whole, and it's just in a simple box for $60. Like, how? You can create calculators in that game. Simple ones, sure, but you can still create fucking calculators.
$60 for the world.
Pretty much. It's just, I'm in awe, man. It's just so cool. Oh,
I wonder if you could, like, make it
the last
phone and order pizza throughout.
The last community I want to talk about from Super Mario Maker is the speedrunning community.
Oh yes.
The speedrun community on Mario Maker is so interesting because not only do people make really good speedruns, but the thing is, people like Lil Curbs on YouTube. His name will pop up on screen here, I'm hoping, unless I do my editing wrong, which I might. Yeah, Lil Curbs, like little, not little as in like little, but Lil as in like rapper Lil.
Yes.
Yeah, Lil Curbs. He does a bunch of speedrun content. He does a bunch of like hard levels. He's just like a pro at the game. But the thing is,
end up getting as big in terms of the speedrun community as Mario 64 does.
Yeah, but then like Nintendo themselves like hold competitions where people can speedrun a level. It's just so cool to me. However, I do think we need to end this game here because we have been talking for this for like 5 minutes now.
Yeah.
Probably a ton more, but I can't keep track of time. Jesus Christ. Next up is World of Warships.
World of Warships, and I'm going to be mainly talking about this because I actually play it,
Yeah.
is this basically tactical third-person kind of MMO.
Mm-hmm.
It's this matchmaking thing, kind of going off of the class-based shooters like Team Fortress 2 and Overwatch.
Right.
But instead of doing like different characters, you get to pick real-life ships that were either designs or were produced during the events of World War II.
Yeah,
up to Vietnam.
You're a big vehicle geek when I could guess that you would love the hell out of this game.
Yes, and actually there's like massive strategy, like the arcing of the guns, because actually like instead of shooting straight lines, they actually have an arc to them.
Right.
And you get to control these various classes like destroyers, cruisers,
Mm-hmm.
battleships, carriers.
Right, yeah.
Who knows? There might be submarines next time.
They might just turn it into a game. They might just turn it into a game of Battleship at some point. I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, each one of them has a distinctive role.
Right, yeah.
And there are also different countries you can play as.
Oh, that's even better.
The Soviet Union, Germany, Japan, the U.S. And each one of those countries has different kind of roles. Like Japan has more of that long-range combat, while the U.S. is like mid-range bruisers.
That's amazing, actually. I did not know that it went that in depth. From the ads I've seen, it's just like not even.
Yeah, and then there's like, and you got like torpedoes, different kinds of planes, and it's like super in depth.
Yeah, that's amazing, actually. From a game that seems like so simple, it births this new, like, type of game. Honestly,
you can drift the ships.
You can drift the ships.
No,
Okay.
really, that's like the main way of dodging torpedoes.
11 out of 10. Best game. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Best game. Alright. Moving along.
Now,
2016. Dark Souls 3.
3.
Okay, well. Dark Souls 3. Again, it's just setting the bar for rage games, honestly. Dark Souls 3. Again, it's like this vibrant world that, much like with Destiny, it doesn't live for you. It lives for itself, honestly. And the reason this game is so brutal is because it's so real. Like it doesn't take no for an answer. It's like this whole thing where
it's so real, has magical dragons.
Okay, what I mean by that is
I
that
know what you mean by that.
Yeah,
but...
what I mean by that is like if you're fucked, you're fucked. Like you're not winning. Cuz like there's barely any healing. There's like a minimal amount of items that you'll get, and even if you do get like the best items, die once and you'll probably lose them forever. So like it's this whole thing where you have to be very strategic, and it's like for 1, 2, and 3, it just kind of carries that across them, and it's just like this whole thing. We're like,
and it took like min-maxing to the next
level.
Like
right.
You had to like pour every single ounce of your character score into one thing.
Right.
Trying to beat a boss. A lot like how Mega Man had power-ups.
Right. Yeah.
That you could use with weaknesses, but no, it's not like that simple.
Right. All right. Moving along.
Actually, along to still 2016. This is something you haven't even put in your list.
Oh. Yeah.
Doom 2016.
Sorry, what was it again?
Doom 2016.
How did we fucking forget it? Doom is the best hell-based game ever.
It's the most Christian game on the planet.
Right, you just beat up demons left and right. You talk to fucking Isabel. You talk to Tom Nook, you know? It's like this whole fucking... You got this kind of hellscape. Did I really... I shouldn't have fucking made those Animal Crossing references.
This reminds me of, like, a meme that I came across while listening to the Doom soundtrack. I think it was BFG Division or Rip and Tear. It's like... Doom guy enters a room with demons. Doom guy cracks knuckles. demons. Why are we the ones hearing the boss music?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a lot like that Rorschach line in the Watchmen movie.
That's why,
I'm not locked in here
Yeah.
with you. You're locked in here with
Yeah.
me.
Or like in The Mandalorian, we got you 4-1. I like those odds.
I like those odds.
It's just so perfect. And then, like, it's just, Doom. Man. Alright.
Just like, whoa, calm down there, guys. This demon had a family. I know. They're next.
Oh, yes. Okay, but moving right along. Begrudgingly, in 2017, we have Fortnite. Fortnite.
Oh,
As
okay,
much...
here's the funny thing.
Here we go.
However, to this whole Fortnite stigma. Originally, the game was awesome.
Originally, the game was amazing. Like, it had, like, it had this interesting graphics, but it's the same problem with Minecraft. It got bombarded with these kids that just kind of fucking ruined the game for everybody else.
Instead of what Minecraft did, which is kept it simple, but instead expanding out to give people more opportunities.
Right, and then
Fortnite doubled down on the kids thing.
Right.
Especially with people like Ninja. To the point
And
where some people think Stormtrooper is not a type of soldier from Star Wars. It's a Fortnite skin.
Fucking John Wick.
Oh my gosh. Save this for next episode. We're probably gonna talk about movies. John Wick was an amazing film.
But it got
and now everyone calls him. And now everyone's like, oh, he's the Fortnite man.
And then so many like fucking dances.
Then
so many dances that it just like kinda that just kinda got eaten up by it. Like the fucking the floss.
Yeah, the
Orange Justice that were like really like cool and original dances, but then everybody started doing them.
They also did it with Michael Jackson's dances. They did my boy Michael.
Really? I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, there's one where he does where the character can do the shuffle,
Alright, that's it.
And
that's
then the
it.
toe stand.
That's it. Okay, Fortnite. Nope, I'm gone. I am going to go take a nap. Except no, I'm not, because we still gotta finish this.
I'm going to start walking, and I don't know when I will stop.
Yeah, but moving right along from that horseshit is Super Mario Odyssey, which, honestly, in my opinion...
POS to amazing.
Right. With Odyssey, it just kind of made this whole new, like, not even just one world, but multiple worlds for Mario to just kind of explore. Each of the worlds is kind of, like, and it's not even, like, multiple worlds. It's just a single world with a bunch of different kingdoms. And god damn it, I forgot about fucking Super Mario Galaxy. God, fuck me. God damn it. Okay, let's talk about Super Mario Galaxy really quick, because it's actually really cool. And it also features one of the best pieces of music in a video game ever. Gusty Gardens has the best piece of music in the entire game. I cannot explain it to you, but 8-Bit Music Theory made the best the best video on it, where he just explains why Gusty Gardens is just like this very simple yet complex song, and it just kind of builds up that energy in you to like play the game. Like it's that kind of thing where it's just fucking
I'm not gonna get into like the whole music theory stuff because that's more you, but
that is so much more me.
When I play it, it just fills me with this sense of whimsy, a lot like how many first Mario levels do.
Oh.
But it just takes it to a whole nother level. Where instead of just being a simple video game soundtrack, it sounds like you're just opening up to a flipping Mario movie.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not talking about the bad one from 1985.
Yeah. Oh, also, just so you know, for a couple of the games coming up, I might be talking about the music a bit, so just be prepared.
Oh, heck. Oh my gosh, I really should have done that.
Okay, so Odyssey.
I really should have done that.
Odyssey, I don't have much on the music. It's still like that fun Mario music. It's just nothing noteworthy, you know? It's just like, yeah, it exists. It's a Mario music. But
although New Donk has some pretty smooth jazz.
Oh, New Donk is fucking fire, dude. But the best piece of music from that is, what was it, Jump Up Superstar? Fucking...
Oh, yes.
Jazz legend Pauline, like,
Absolute unit.
absolute unit. Get you a girl who can do both. Ugh. But yeah, that's most of the music. Like, most of the music in Odyssey is very average, but the finale music with all that Japanese shit and Jump Up Superstar are probably some of the best Mario music, just because it's so original. It's like so. When you think of that game, you think of that music kind of thing. Same thing with
Yeah,
like Same thing with like Gusty Gardens in Galaxy, or like the original Mario theme from the original Mario.
yeah, as about the Japanese stuff in the finale, that whole stuff was just this massive love letter to Japanese culture. Like, the
Yeah.
Goombas were wearing small Jingasa hats.
Right.
Like, Gaijin Goomba has an amazing video about that level.
Yeah.
And, like, how the statues of Bowser at the beginning of the castle
Mm-hmm.
were based off of the two main gods of Japan's religion, the Shinto religion, Fujin and Raijin.
It makes it so much like, it gives this aesthetic of just, this is Japan, but it's Bowser, kind of thing.
And there's even like the little roadside like baby statues that guide the way.
Yeah, and then you can capture one of them and become them, apparently.
I think.
Yeah, it's like this whole thing, it's just like, gotta love it, man.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Alright, moving right along from that. We have Breath of the Wild, and oh my gosh, the music! The fucking music, dude! Okay.
Aesthetic!
The music is pure aesthetic. It fits the theme in each of its sections. Like, it does the same for other Zeldas, but in this specific Zelda, it's just so much more apparent that they worked tirelessly, and they worked so well on the music in this game. And, oh, fuck. And I just love it, because it lives on its own just because of its music, and and the way it intertwines with the story. Like, it's just, I can't explain how good it is.
You know what? It actually reminds me of what I should have talked about earlier with Halo. Their music is actually phenomenal.
The music in Halo, in Breath of the Wild, in Mario Galaxy, they'll fit a theme. Like, they'll fit a theme of a level or the entire world. In other games, like
how Doom.
And Doom, of course, because Doom music became a meme, but it's also like this whole thing. Like, it fits the theme. With other games, like, thinking off the top of my head, Fortnite doesn't really fit the theme. It's like this very fun style music choice. No, when you do the emotes, there is music and it does not fit.
Oh dear lord, that was disgusting.
It was disgusting. Oh my god! Like, you fucking kill a person. You kill a person in cold blood, and then you just play that kind of shit. Come on. But
although
yeah,
I gotta admit, that's probably the most hilarious part.
Yeah, but then like with other
like
games,
solution of teabagging in Halo.
with other games like I don't know, like with the Battlefront games, as much as I love them, the music is kind of it works, but like it's not phenomenal. Like it's there.
Like just Star Wars soundtracks from the movies.
Oh, man, if we ever talk about the Star Wars movies, I have to talk about the leitmotifs in there, but let's not get into that. Okay.
Yeah. Let's get back to Breath of the Wild.
But with Breath of the Wild, not only the music, but the way it looks, it's just so... It's just like this whole aesthetic of just everything exists together, like, kind of thing. And it's not realistic. I'm not going to say it's realistic. It's not realistic. But it's just so...
realistic. It's Zelda.
It's Zelda. Exactly. It's not supposed to be realistic, so it doesn't look realistic. It looks very cartoonish in a way. But at the same time, it can look very dark and gloomy. And at the same time, it can look very, like... At the same time, it can look very drag. It can look very, like, average kind of looking thing. But it all exists cohesively because it doesn't change what it is. Because it's Zelda, right?
Right. It's basically evolving on the themes of Majora's Mask with the darkness and then with the light kind of stuff. That's when Ocarina of Time comes in.
And it's just so...
Oh, I really do wish that some of the soundtracks from Breath of the Wild were references to Ocarina of Time.
That would be cool. That would be cool, but sadly no. Alright, moving along, we have Destiny 2. Alright,
Electric Boogaloo.
let's talk about how to create a world. Or multiple in this case, I guess. How to create a universe. Let's go with that. The way that Destiny creates its universe is just so interesting to me. Because not only does it make each planet stand out in a way. Like, Earth looks Earth-like, obviously. But then the other planets have their own little, things. Even the planets in the DLCs, which, of course, I had to purchase to finish the game, But,
Yeah, that's, the main problem with games now.
yeah, it costs the same as the game. Let's not go into that. But, it makes this whole universe seem like it could exist in the real world, but also at the same time, it couldn't because of the way that, real life kind of works. Just because, each of the people, have their own lives and that they want to live, and then with the whole thing with Cade, it's just so... each of the characters are very interesting. Osiris has this interesting story. The story in I can't remember the name, but the other DLC is very vibrant and it adds to the world. And then the story of the OG game, it tells you how each of the abilities for each of the classes kind of came to be, and it's just it's very through a story, and it's just I can't explain how good it is at world building.
Yeah, even though you have to purchase the DLC to finish the game, it's still really good feeling because it's got Bungie's major talent, which is world building, which is definitely shown in their marathon games and definitely with Halo.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, moving up from that, we have 2018 Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, again, the fucking world building, man. I mean, you wouldn't expect that from a Smash game, but Galeem, Darkon, fucking everything about it, despite the fact of not knowing what Galeem and Darkon are, you can still, you know there's, a sense of tension when, Darkon comes in and, fucking beats the shit out of Galeem, And then the ending battle is so, high pace. You fight all the bosses from before. Why did my phone just light up?
Wait,
yeah, but it's this whole...
like Giga Bowser and all?
Yeah, you fight every single boss that you fought before. From, you got Giga Bowser, you got Marks, you got Gallium from the Brawl, you got, all these different bosses from over the years that all come... you fight them separately in the main campaign, and then you have this whole section in the final battle where you fight all of them. It's, it just works,
It just works.
And then the music. Oh my gosh, the music. Fucking, what is it? Lifelight? Or is that the name?
I don't know.
It's the main theme of it, colors weave, that one. But it works because despite not ever playing the game, when I first heard that song in the trailer, I knew, okay, this game's gonna be great, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, everyone's here.
Except Waluigi.
Everyone's here. Batman, Superman,
Shrek, a car.
Oh no.
It's just, yeah, thanks for the JonTron reference, but yeah, I'm being serious when I say everyone is here except Waluigi. And that's just kind of give us a Waluigi fighter, please.
What would Waluigi do? Is that really...
Oh, there are videos online. There's this guy named BrawlFan who has this whole series where he makes, movesets for fighters that probably won't happen, except he did accurately predict Banjo-Kazooie, and that's, the only one. But he made a moveset for Waluigi that...
the Lego cars?
He actually makes movesets that would, legitimately work and also, have their own, weaknesses and strengths. And for Waluigi, he created this whole thing around all the sports games, and that like works for Waluigi because he's really just the sports character. Think of how much of a meme he became from Mario Tennis Aces. I mean, like, it just like how currently as a assist trophy he's just he's doing the sports stuff, you know.
Really, all he's doing is just smacking someone to the ground, then just stomping on him.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on from Ultimate, we have Red Dead Redemption 2. And this one is the
yes,
one where
the
you
game
play
with
as
the
Arthur.
incest.
Oh god, don't. And this one is the one where you play as Arthur Morgan until the very end. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played the game, but at the very end I cried. I'll be honest. Before the epilogue with John in it, I cried. Ugh, fuck. Yeah, it's such a... But the reason that you cry at the end of the game is because of, like, the character building that occurs for the entire thing. Like, every single character still has their little quirks, and Arthur has his own little quirks. Like, there's all these things that just kind of... You still make decisions, sure, but, like, there's this whole thing. It just... It's a world. Like, it functions as a world of its own. And it's, like... I'm not going to comment on the music. It's average. It fits. It's not really that extraordinary, though. Do you have anything to add?
No, just the, actually, literally the world building and just how the game looks.
Oh, yeah.
It looks actually fantastic.
And then the amount of exploring that you can do. And there's even, I have, like, the official guide for the game, and it's, like, it can show you where all the...
I hope Halo Infinite does something like that.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on from that, got 2019, we're getting close, folks. Kingdom Hearts 3, alright. Why did we only add Kingdom Hearts 3 instead of the other two, which were also in this 2-decade time frame? In my opinion, Kingdom Hearts 3 is the best addition to the franchise, in general. Not only does the music sound amazing, and the characters are, like, still the same, but, like, they're different because they've grown as characters. But the plot, like, everything kind of just works. Like, most of the Disney sections, like, fit into the cohesive story. I'm looking at you, Frozen. It's Frozen. The Frozen section in this one is no. But yeah, it just works as a story. It's this whole thing. It just, ugh. Kingdom Hearts 3, man. If you haven't played the other games, though, don't play this game. You won't find as much enjoyment as someone who has already played all the other games, especially when it comes to understanding the plot, because fuck Kingdom Hearts plot.
Yeah, at least you won't be able to miss out on the story, because most cuts are unskippable.
Most of them are, yes. But at the same time...
And you will also be incredibly... When you go to the Disney sections, they just play one single loop of music.
Oh, yeah. But again, the music...
is like a bad LJN NES game. It just keeps repeating.
But the music at the same time fits, so... As much as it is annoying to hear the same thing over and over.
Come on, at least if they got a Tarzan portion, at least play some Phil Collins.
Right? Play some freaking doo-doo, ba-ba-da, shoo-ba-doo, ba-blee-ba-da-da.
Son of Man.
Yes.
Son of Man, best song.
Moving on from that, in 2020, we have two games that will be forever connected. Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Doom Crossing, Eternal Horizons, as it is now called. Two games that are completely separate from each other, but each share good morals.
But, in complete seriousness, these are, highly different games, in general. Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal's music is, of course, it's amazing. It's Doom music, come on.
It is quite simply the greatest music of all time.
No. No.
All of my money.
Stop right there. First of all, it's not the greatest music of all time. Well, I mean, that's an opinion. I'm fine with you having that opinion, I'll be honest. If some of you have that opinion, that's fine.
I'm fine with you having that wrong opinion.
But when it comes to it objectively, its music is very, like, it fits. Again, it fits. It's amazing, but, like, it's not the best in general. The best, some of the best music in video game history have been, like, the original Mario theme, which is very, like, fun, and all the Mario music, actually. But with Doom Eternal,
From Halo 3.
yeah, and then with Doom Eternal, it creates this sense of, like, action. It creates this sense of, like, you have to fight, or there's no getting out. But also, like, the way it looks also can do that. Especially when, I think, for the story, I've seen Let's Plays of it, I think you're going through, like, all 7 levels of hell.
Yeah, although I thought it would be 9.
Fuck me, I don't know. I don't know what the number is. Shut up. But yeah, it just creates this sense of urgency, almost. But moving on from that...
how you should, like, never listen to Doom soundtracks while in the car.
Right. But then, the final game on our list, we're going to end it off calm, much like how we started it with Sims. And we're going to end it off with Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Establish communism with Isabel.
Shut up. When it comes to Animal Crossing New Horizons, the music, it's very calm. It can calm you down. And there's no plot. There's no plot. That's fine. It's an Animal Crossing game. There wasn't supposed to be. But the whole thing with this is, well, you know, it's like a daily thing, like, that you play. Because there's, like, daily events. There's daily things that you can do. Sure, you can time skip. Sure, you can time skip. But, like, why would you do that? I mean, if you do, it's fine. Like, it's something you can do, and it's something that's completely fine by me. But with this, it's like, getting these daily events, getting all these, like, secret things. Like, if you put in your birthday, you get a birthday surprise on your birthday, which is really cute, and it's nice. And it's like it's this whole thing, and it's like something to calm you down after a long day, or something to get you ready for your day in the morning.
Yeah, and then there's another fun thing, the customization for the characters,
right?
The multiplayer element in general. Like, I saw, like, there were, like, whole fashion shows on Animal Crossing now that quarantine is going over. Especially a JoJo-themed, fashion.
Yeah, that's great. But when this whole thing just kinda, it's a calm way to just kind of relax for a bit. Just have fun with a game that really you don't have to do much in. And that's just, it's kind of beautiful.
It can be a little bit bizarre in some ways, but it's still quite a calming adventure.
Right. But that does end off our list. So, if you do believe that we've missed any important games, please, if you are watching this, go ahead and comment. I would love to see if any of you guys have any opinions on the games we talked about, or any games that you think we should have talked about. I would be fine to see that. This has been, what was the name we went with again?
Pop Culture Happy Hour.
Yeah, thank you for listening to our first episode of Pop Culture Happy Hour. This has been, Timothy and...
Jack.
Signing off for today, as it is now 10 p.m. and I'm getting kinda tired. See y'all later.